Alright, welcome back, folks. We're gonna do another Let's Play and with some history.
Looking forward to tonight.
My boy Peter wanna hang out?
Hey, Hunter. Please do.
Oh, heck yeah. And of course I lose.
Captain Marvel. Wow, that is nothing I expected to say about her.
What happened?
She caught me bringing an armload of snacks to my room, asked if I was hoarding food. She was joking, but she's kind of not joking. I haven't lived with people outside of family. Am I doing it wrong? Do I write an apology note, or how do I do this?
You should have offered her a cut.
Of the pretzel funyuns or the peanut butter snackers? Maybe some cheddar loops.
That is a lot of food.
Oh wait.
Well, he's Spider-Man and he's got a lot of metabolism going on.
my way to... I should...
Sure, why not?
Excellent time.
Hey, can I ask a favor? Thanks, Hunter.
Of course I'm gonna gain a friendship level with Steve Rogers. It's my boy. It's my boy Cap.
What do you think? You don't think this whole Bruce Wanda thing is fair either, right?
It's fair. What do you need, Nico?
Well, today, folks, is gonna be a bit of a special episode.
I know you do.
We are going to be talking about Woodrow Wilson.
Now we all have to
Quite
sit around
possibly
and start Bruce.
the single most influential,
Who was there for us when Wanda was taken? Huh?
and probably aside from FDR,
Group therapy.
one of the single worst presidents in the history of this country.
Was an Avenger, one of their own. They lost a brother. Surely you can empathize with that.
Not if they're not going
Now,
to
people
try
will
to
have
murder
different
us.
perspectives on Woodrow Wilson, but I think at this point it is abundantly fair to say that
You know, I bet if they had a shot
a lot of the things that you can attribute today, usually as negatives, I think, especially in terms of foreign policy, you can attribute to Woodrow Wilson.
Oh, you are gonna love this. So, what's new with Hydra this morning? Wait, don't tell me. I can already imagine Crossbow. Speed up in my corner executive suite using our Gamma accelerator as his own personal phone. Hey, Hunter. Initiating.
Like, let me give you an example. You want to know why Saddam Hussein was a thing? Why he got into power? Well, guess who put his great-grandfather into power and basically created what the state of Iraq effectively was?
Behind me turns into a
Yeah,
giant
that
thing.
was
Egypt.
Woodrow Wilson, who helped put him into power specifically. Those two would work pretty well. Yeah. To be fair, I don't know how many people actually knew stuff like that.
Intriguing. Fascinating.
You know, one of these days I probably should explore just so that I can get a bunch of stuff, and I think I have a bunch of keys I can take. You know, that means I could probably spar with Captain America, my boy.
Ready for more?
Just give me a target.
Don't stress it too much. There's no wrong answers here.
Ah.
Peace.
And yes, as you can see, I don't particularly have the best
I am drawing inspiration from your positive attitude.
I credit everything.
excuse me. Don't particularly have the best opinion, specifically of Mr. Woodrow Wilson. Now, to be fair, part of it is a little personal because Democrats around this particular point in time particularly don't have a lot of, let's say, don't have a lot of restraint when it comes to certain racial prejudices, and specifically towards Asians that favor my people in any particular way.
How are you, Carol?
And Woodrow Wilson's a complicated president, and I think if you want to have
Faustian flavor of crap. Would you have been able to take the shot? Because I don't
want to have a look at how presidents ultimately end up
Kill someone I love.
being and
no offense, but
how
I actually
much control they actually have. Yeah, put it that way. Look at Woodrow Wilson, the end of his life in presidency, and you'll begin to see how things actually work.
I do think you are probably a
I think
tad more
before
comfortable with going
Mr.
to
Woodrow
the
Wilson,
job done than we are.
there's probably some forming world economic order around this particular point in time, but
I'm not trying
after
to be
Woodrow Wilson, there's no hesitation of what
soldiers in
constitutes,
battles like this to do the
I
things
guess
that
you
us
could say,
aren't comfortable doing.
globalists, people who are part of the World Economic Forum, all those individuals who have quote unquote bigger plans for
You are even close to your limits.
for America and the United States, and I think people should be very, very wary of history and how people will look at them. We're going to mission, and we're gonna. Okay. It's not a bad thing. I think he's pretty hurt. Gain wounded for 2 turns. He needs to level up. He needs to level up. Oh, a lot of people really need to level up. Album cover. Now, Woodrow Wilson also is the president that it was arguable the changing of the guard in many aspects of what where the Democratic Party was headed in terms of its ideological virtues, I guess. And what I mean by that is they went from being this, I wouldn't even say conservative, I would say just old school anti-government, specifically anti-federal government position ultimately, and slowly transformed from that perspective towards what ultimately amounts to, at this point, increasing government control, increasing use of excuse me, increasing use of the government to actually get things done and make substantial changes. Because I think the party and the country had shifted. It wasn't just the Deep South that was Democratic, but the Midwest, and the Midwest in particular, had more roots towards the anti-federal government perspective, and they had largely shifted towards at least that perspective, because William Jennings Bryan was a very influential individual and changed a lot of people's minds and perspectives on what to do.
This should aid me in my fight.
And I kill you all, bro. Good job, Spider-Man. Good job. You're probably wondering where Woodrow Wilson even comes from. What is ironic, though, for a lot of people is he actually was a Southerner. I can't say. Oh. Yeah, you know, a Southerner himself, born right before the Civil War, around the late 1850s. Change track. Gonna maximum of 2 targets. Boom. And a level up, son. In your face.
It's remarkable how well Hydra manages to attract new recruits despite decades of
There we go. I think I'm starting to actually really get the hang of this game.
I'm going for it. It must be tough losing all the time. For like decades.
Huh.
Watch closely.
A gift from ancient traditions.
Ooh. Definitely was overkill, just a little bit. And that's how you do it. What are you doing in my room?
Magic surprise party is nearly upon us.
Ugh, this freaking birthday party, I swear.
Did their part, and I'm not even stressed about it. That Parker guy is chatty.
But yeah, born originally in Virginia. I think he moves all over the place in the South.
Head to the party with the others. I'll bring Max.
I think he lives primarily in the Carolinas and Georgia for much of his upbringing. He's one of, like, I think 2 or 3 presidents. I think 1 or 2 presidents, actually, now that I think about it, that are a part of the Confederacy in their lifetime. The other being John Tyler, although Woodrow effectively was kind of more brought into it and born into it. And his father was a staunch supporter of the South and the Confederacy. Just to let you know about that. Very big into the church. His father also a teacher as well. Very interesting man, his father.
Are you surprised?
Wilson growing up, went to church, did the normal stuff, was a very, very big believer in a lot of the ideals of the Southern cause, but, I probably wouldn't say it out loud. Other when he goes to the White House and, has that filming of the birth of a nation, probably shows you where his sympathies ultimately lie. And, he was fascinated, I think, about, dude, Captain America just looks way too yoked.
Just the basics from Tony and Cap.
But, he was always interested in education, and, excuse me. Like, I don't think he was particularly religious, but I think he was, like, someone who was interested in, like, religious theory and stuff like that. He's one of those individuals, I'll put it that way. Like, you want to talk about, like, a modern liberal, and just those perspectives, I think you're going to find Woodrow Wilson to be akin to a lot of those particular types. I mean, growing up, he was all about... He really was from the get-go, in a lot of ways. All about politics, all about the political maneuverings and positions that people would take. In particular, he was always interested in, I think, British politics, too. British Whigs, and really was a big debater. He would enter debating societies, especially when he was in college, but that's besides the point. Originally, he would go to school down in the South, eventually go to Davidson College, I think, in North Carolina or South Carolina. I don't even know where Davidson is, to be honest with you. But eventually, he does go to New Jersey, which originally was the college in New Jersey, but now is known today as Princeton. He studied history, political philosophy, entered the debate society, and a fraternity. So he's basically just got himself involved in just about everything that he could actually be a part of. I understand at this point it's around the 1870s, and he's probably hovering around 20 years old at this time when all this stuff happens. He was a big believer in the Democrat nominees and basically just politics. I'm missing. Oh. Birthday girl herself.
What is wrong?
You said this party would be small.
That is what Nico told me. This seems more elaborate than what she described.
Then you are blameless. Hunter, this is worse than I expected. But I shall withstand it.
So emo. So okay, so I can talk to Ghost Rider.
This party was a great idea.
Do.
Think so? It's a party, right? I hope it helps him feel at home. Oh, that cake looks amazing.
But anyways, comes back from Princeton. Wants to be a lawyer. Studies to be a lawyer initially. I think he gets sick though. Just whatever pneumonia, whatever he's got, actually forces him to withdraw from law school. But he studies on his own. Effectively gets credits on his own, and goes and gets himself admitted to the Georgia bar in particular around the 1880s, I think. Then he graduates from Princeton in 1879, 1880. Comes home, attends law school. Attends law school. I'm trying to get his history right a little bit. He's in his early 20s at this point. Big Democrat believer, goes to the church. His father again was I gotta sneeze. His father was Presbyterian. He himself was a Presbyterian, but more so just ideologically.
At a party I did not want. So what do you want now? To cut the cake?
Magic, wait.
Fine. I will cut the cake.
Party pooper.
Happy birthday?
Magic's so rude. Oh my god.
Liana's my friend. How could I have missed this?
What matters is that you make things right.
You're right, but how am I supposed to do that? I want to fix this, but I can't follow her to Limbo. Maybe you could?
Of course.
Tell me what I need to do.
This is going to bring you close to her. When you find her, would you talk to her? Make sure she's alright? That's all I care about.
What is the best way to approach magic?
I feel like I'm the last person you should ask. I'm sure the others have some advice.
I'm ready to go into limbo.
Send me after magic.
Let's go.
Okay, here goes nothing.
Isn't that technically the first gate of hell? Ugh.
When blood is shed, let the staff of blood emerge.
Oh, great. Okay.
Who are you?
Let's go find this edgy girl who's literally just whining because she's just kind of a crappy person, but whatever. Magic, you're not endearing yourself to me.
Oh, sweetie. Your birthday. What an awful way to learn what your family truly thinks of you.
They don't love me.
Whose face am I gonna punch?
Before we go, I have a question.
Of course. Ask me anything, my queen.
Are you a monster?
Child, I'm so much more than that. I'm a friend. The only one you'll ever need.
The house in Limbo. What is this place?
What the?
It is not possible to enter Limbo without my knowing. How did you get here?
Nico used the staff on one.
Of course. And why did she not come herself?
She thought it would make things worse.
Well, that makes two of us. Wait, if you found your way to this place, what did you hear?
Well, I think I know why you hate your birthday.
My deepest shame. You are the first beyond myself to know this. The first person, at least. The creature you heard brought me here. But my childish need cursed me to this terrible place. I lost my childhood to one bad choice. I thrusted a silver tongue instead of my own family.
You cannot blame yourself.
If not me, then who? I was a fool.
You were a child.
I was a foolish child.
Man, I wish they had these storylines earlier. I probably would enjoy this game a little bit more. Yeah.
Who you were does not matter. It is who you become that counts.
I would dismiss such words from anyone else.
Anyways, I'm getting way off topic when it comes to Woodrow Wilson. So first and foremost, he tries and fails pretty miserably to become a lawyer.
You could hang out here if you want.
I would like that.
Magic becoming my friend. So gay. Anyways, he becomes a lawyer after studying rigorously. Tries to really,
I do.
really only does this for a year, really. 2 years maybe. He effectively gives up his law practice in the early 1880s, around like 1882 almost. He just never took to it. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that
Is that normal? How can trash get to
I think
All forgotten things
how do I put it?
find their way here. Even music, and the means to play it. Even now,
I think the legal realities of interpersonal relations
when I wish to live
between people just never really appealed to him. I think he was always more so someone who was enigmatic and just thought about the grander scheme of things, the League of Nations of things. What influences real change in people, etc., etc. How about this?
Hunter, you have excellent taste.
I should get going.
I will open a portal for you.
Good night, Magic.
See you, Hunter.
Well, she's actually becoming my friend.
creature said many strange things, didn't you? How much was true?
None. All were lies to manipulate a stupid child. The creature brought me here to rule this place, but not as I do now. Desired a servant, loyal, unthinking, a stupid child who believed its lies. I took great pleasure in disappointing it.
Why does this look like your room in the Abbey?
It doesn't. My room in the Abbey looks like this one. For years, this was the only place in Limbo.
But anyways, he was always a part of that. Actually ends up going back to school as a result of it in order to learn more about political science and history. And again, he just did not like the day-to-day work of what a lawyer actually was. Goes to Baltimore and studies at the John Hopkins University. Learns German, by the way. Just want to point that out. I always think that's funny that he learned German of all the specific languages.
I should get going.
Alright, it's later magics. I'm going homes. Yeah, you like me 'cause I'm cool. I'm cool like that.
You were gone for so long. Did you find Naja?
I did. She's going to spend the night in Limbo.
Is she doing all right? Is she mad at me?
She is fine. We had a lot of fun.
You did?
Yeah, we listened to music. In Limbo.
Achievement unlocked, I guess. At least her birthday ended on a high note. That's all that matters.
And actually, around this particular point in time, he's working on what would be known as his liberal ideas, his classic liberal theories. And at John Hopkins University, he's really learning about, how should I put it? Ooh, can I hang out with Cap?
We'll keep smashing Hydra until they run out of heads.
Almost there, Cap. Almost there, buddy. But anyways, oh lordy. Whoa. Who are you? Oh, Scarlet Witch. But anyways, his ideals of what would later become a part of his presidency and his term as president are largely starting here and attributed to him around this particular point in time. Learns about or pushes forth his ideas of political theory, his liberalism, I guess one could probably point out. Actually, as a result of it, he uses that basically as his dissertation and gets a PhD in history from John Hopkins University. Becomes one of the only presidents, I think, to actually get a PhD, technically. And then later, a couple years after he gets his PhD, publishes the book known as the Congressional Government, which a lot of people have used as a much more modern interpretation of the use of the Constitution, really, since the Federalist Papers. And I'm gonna level with you. I've never read the book, but I can probably tell you it's probably hot garbage. Just letting you know. And I would just tell people to stick with the Federalist Papers personally. Hmm. Oh. Now, around this time, a lot of things are happening while he's in school. Particularly, right before he goes to school, he meets a girl named Ellen, and they meet, and Woodrow Wilson's like, "Hot diggity! I'm a big fan of your swagger, Miss Ellen." She's a big. She's a daughter of some. She's a daughter of a Presbyterian church in the South, in Savannah, and basically courts her the entire time as a lawyer before actually becoming a PhD student. They basically court each other. They propose marriage, but he basically asks her to postpone it so that he can finish school, and which makes things even more difficult because she wants to get married, have a bunch of kids. Whoa, Peter, friendship level, bro. It's my bro. It's my dude. But eventually, once he graduates, around 1885, they get married, have their first child, Margaret. I forgot how many kids they have. I think they only have 2. Not quite sure. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes. Really? Do I? Oh, okay, well, let's go find Spider-Man real quick.
Have you seen any of the Midnight Suns? I need to speak to them.
I think I overheard Blade talking about how he was going to the chapel, which is weird. I didn't think vampires could go.
I will say this: the Wilsons had, and their 2 or 3 or 4 children ultimately get their hands in pretty much everything.
No problemo. Where'd you find them?
Take me to church, I worship like a dog at the shrine of your life. I'll tell you my sins and you can sharpen your knife.
Hydra forces have taken the Sanctum, Tower, and most of the best retail outlets in Manhattan. They keep making moves. About time we do the same.
Our intel points to Lilith being in the Sanctum. That's where we need to strike. Been there, done that. Wasn't our finest stuff.
That symbiote shell has withstood everything we've thrown at it. Lilith chose them.
Now, once he and Ellen eventually get married, they move north, specifically towards the northeast, where he gets many positions. Notably, I think he starts off in a women's college, I think in Pennsylvania, where he teaches Greek philosophy. Pretty much everything. Is a tiny college that he is teaching at. I think it was something like notably only like 100 students or 50 students at a time.
I've missed these little talks.
And he wasn't very popular there, I'll put it that way. And I think that was just a really difficult time for him to get his foot in the door, at least in terms of his academic career. Eventually he does go to after a couple years there, goes to Wesleyan University in Connecticut, specifically teaching about Western and American history. Coached the football team, by the way. Just want to point that out.
The tower may have been taken over by someone else. I have no doubt.
Everything all right, caretaker?
That's what I wanted to ask you. You seem distracted lately. Not quite yourself. I feel like something must be going on.
But eventually, around a couple more years there, around 1890, around his mid to late 30s, early 30s, he ends up getting an opportunity to become the head chair of jurisprudence and economics, specifically at Princeton. And it was a big pay bump too for him because he's not getting paid very well, and he's got kids to feed. I think his salary initially was somewhere around $5,000 a month or $5,000 a year, which today multiply that by about 20-ish, and he's gonna get paid six figures to be a teacher, which I think is kind of crazy. Okay, let's go to church, y'all. What kind of church is this? That's funny. I don't know what denomination I would probably be considered. I think specifically, if I had to choose or identify with one, just based off of my temperament and personality, I think I would probably be considered almost evangelical. Strangely enough, I think, but that's just my own personal view.
A discernment spell. Well, more of a tracking ritual, like a seance. And no, it's not dark. I got it right from the source.
Now this is where Woodrow Wilson starts getting into the thick things. He's becoming slowly a prominent Democrat politician in a lot of ways, or at least, just anything that has some Democrat influence. I mean, he's got a lot of name recognition now.
Make that 5.
You win. Ouija away.
Lock the door.
And which is ironic because I think he's far more crazy than William Jennings Bryan, but I know that Woodrow Wilson did not think too highly of William Jennings Bryan, specifically finding him way too radical as a nominee. For instance, I know in the 1896 election he didn't like him. He liked Palmer instead, which did not go well, and just picked a lot of losers in his life, put it that way.
Ego spiritus ad me. Whoa. Anyone else see that?
She said not to break the connection.
Well, you just did.
Now, it is around this time, too, while being a leader, he ends up creating a lot of, let's just say pushing forth a lot of ideals in particular. And a lot of his, it's hard to explain. It's like magazines are trying to come out, newspapers trying to come out, and he's basically pushing forth a lot of his ideas around this particular point in time. One of them was this one called Political Science Quarterly, and he's basically laying out all his ideas, seeing how people would react to them. Notably, his ideas for what eventually amount to the welfare state as an idea, where the government takes care of people and does all of these things, etc., etc. This actually, I think, helps him in his standing as, how people who are elitists are, where they're just like, ah, yes, this particular idea, it's brilliant, it's beautiful, yada, 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 instead of, you know what I'm saying, they just want to be smug about things. And I think him promoting a lot of these ideas made him the ardent Democrat intellectual of his particular time and era in terms of political theories that, hypothetically could work, but in today's setting that we actually have his political theories, they don't work. And in fact, it's the complete opposite. They just do not work in any way, shape, and form. Anyways, because of this, he improves his political standing, ultimately ends up becoming the president of Princeton University around this particular point in time. He's real big into a lot of what ends up happening. Makes Princeton. I'll give him credit. He does make Princeton what Princeton is today. Is able to get a bunch of rich people to donate to the university, make it as prestigious as it ultimately does. Ultimately, starts seeing a lot of people that are going to be part of his cabinet around this particular point in time too. But again, they makes Princeton the school that it ultimately is. He's always a man who's stressed about things, though, who definitely does not take stress well. In fact, actually gets a stroke effectively, or at least a mini stroke. Becomes blind in his left eye. Always had problems with hypertension and heart disease, and I think part of that too has to deal with the fact that, everyone smoked back then, but I think it's just really just him not taking care of himself is probably the simplest way to explain that.
Just a little of the old abracadabra. No big deal.
Smack him all on the floor, smack that. Come give me some more, smack that.
Heroes like us.
Whip it good, do 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 do. Now whip you good, do 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 do. Now who has a lot of health? Go magic, go magic. Exhaust. Let's go magic. End you, bro. That might have been a little overkill too. Not gonna lie.
I have a long memory.
You know, I was gonna stop on this part, but I didn't realize that I was gonna be fighting. But hey, it is what it is. Whoa. You know, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This game's really starting to grow on me. Curse you.
Okay, now he's just messing with us.
That wasn't bad.
You know, we're gonna be smarticle here. Make sure it is you. There we go. It's funny. I was at work and I'm just listening to a bunch of old songs that I haven't listened to in a very long time from my era and generation, and also just older songs in general. I don't even say it's funny. I would say, man, you know, like, forgot how good this music was, you know, like, Yeah, let's just end you real quick.
Tony Stark was right. You are.
And you. I was listening to like some old Fleetwood Mac that I haven't listened to in a very long time, and I was like, damn, Fleetwood Mac's got some bangers, you know, like some real bangers. You know, every time I listen to The Chain, I'm just like, okay, I see you. They're actually pretty good live. I obviously haven't seen them live, but I've seen them. I've seen some of their concerts, and I'm just like, oh, okay, not too bad.
Everything according to plan.
You will leave this world alone and forgotten.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's end this fool. Suck it.
Well executed.
Remember me now, Brucey?
I'm starting to. Which actually explains a great deal about how this visit came about. Far too amateurish an operation from Carol, or even Tony. Is not how I should be focusing on, but the why. You're not here for the Gamma Accelerator at all, are you? No. The truth is far more delightful. Of course it is. Well, by all means, then.
Now, anyways,
Have
with
at it.
Woodrow Wilson, he's not doing too hot in his health. Stress. Let's just be honest too. I think he had a couple of extramarital affairs in there, and he's really becoming a part of this elitist group of individuals. Whoa,
Wanda!
that's Wanda.
We were too late. She belongs to Lilith now. Death is your only chance for release.
What? Hell no!
We have to
No,
kill
that's not
Wanda.
how we work.
What?
Haven't you learned anything yet? Leave her alone, you monster!
Oh, I assure you, Miss Maximoff is free to do as she pleases.
She appears neither free nor pleased to me.
Really?
Let's do it. Now I'm just curious what the story is going to be about now. If we're going to kill Wanda.
Mother's vision cannot be denied.
It's all starting to make sense. Tony must have known that I would need her energies to help stabilize the reaction. Perhaps he thought her connection to the two of you would somehow prevent the inevitable slaughter about to occur. Or perhaps you're simply his canaries in the coal mine. In either case, I may have underestimated him.
Sure you're all right there, Brucey? Sounding a little unhinged.
No idea what I'm doing, but let's see what happens. Okay. That happened. Good lord. Whatever. I need to do some damage to you, Wanda.
Protect me.
Ah, this is going to ultimately end up being a very long episode.
I am getting stronger.
Let's just put one here for poop and giggles. If you keep me calling out your name, you know I'm falling and I can't the same. Dun, dun, dun.
Not out of this yet.
You seem confused. No one
What? You can't do 2 attacks? What the heck is a chaos field?
The looks on your faces. Genuine astonishment. Just like before with Tony and Steve at the tower. Have we heroes always been so trusting? So gullible?
There is no we anymore, traitor. You forfeited that right in another life.
Huh.
And here you all are, trying to save one. I suppose I should add.
It's not what I was expecting, but okay. Boom! Haha. Oh, what's gonna happen? Okay.
But I thought we were friends.
Can you leave me calling out your name? You know I'm falling. I don't know what to say.
That will help.
Nope. Well, that's no bueno.
The future is already hers.
Well, I guess this is just gonna be a very long episode then. What the? Wanda, you're really starting to get to me now. Heroes increased. Can we just finish this? She's probably gonna get downed. What?
Ever again.
More of Lilith's lies. I have heard such words repeated far too many times.
Whoa!
You can't stop me.
Just go down already, woman. Oh, finally. Guess now it's not over yet. You haven't moved, right? Whatever. Suck it, suck it. Sorry, I stopped talking about Woodrow Wilson. I think I need to. I'm gonna hold off on him because the next things to really talk about is basically once he finds Princeton at a certain point to be kind of like not necessarily a roadblock, but he's this guy that has all this unlimited power, and then the moment he gets checked, you know, he's kind of like, I'm kind of done with this, you know? I don't really have a lot of power and influence that I really wanted to do the things that I want to do. So, yeah. What? Oh, I'm out of car. Okay. But anyways, because he ends up leaving Princeton around 1910-ish. And specifically starts thinking about political office. And in fairness, he'd been thinking about this for decades prior. Because he had been really just being... He was basically just like, you know, if I do all this political theory stuff, I should probably test it out, see if it would be an accurate assessment. And would it actually work, yada yada. He actually wanted to put his money where his mouth was. And see what was actually going to happen. Okay.
Now you're starting to sound like Crossbow.
What are you gonna do? Oh, okay, that works. You keep me calling out your name. This is gonna be a very long episode. I'm pretty sure I just talked about that. I only wanted these parts to be like between 30 minutes and an hour now. This is probably gonna go well into an hour. Whatever. I'm in it for the content, people.
Mother guides my hand now.
Another batch of idiots coming in.
What you got, Scarlet? What? You can't handle your own chaos field? You weak. It's a sign of weakness.
You could hurt somebody like that.
I've heard a great deal about Wanda. Now I've finally seen her power with my own eyes.
Just had to do it to her. Do I have to defeat the other guys? Or is that it?
Well, this encounter has certainly smashed my expectations. Come now, Bruce. Can't let yourself get too carried away. We were planning on taking them alive. Then again, Wanda.
Can she though?
It's over. We must leave now. Wanda, stop. It's me.
It is not her, Nico. She cannot hear you anymore.
Hey, I dominated her. This cutscene is bogus.
Did you see that? I know you did.
Did I see her almost destroy all three of us? Then yes.
She hesitated.
And then blew up the ground where you were standing.
Still, one is in there. Somewhere. I know it.
No. She is here.
Impossible.
Close it! Now!
What do you think I am trying to do? No escape. No more. You were saying, Wanda. Your fault. You will be no more.
What is happening?
I am not Agatha.
It's a very weird statement, but okay. You're not Agatha. I believe you. Okay. I think we're gonna end this part right here. Guys, God bless. Hope y'all enjoy your day. Y'all rock, like, and subscribe.